Everyone. All dear Toastmasters and guests, on behalf of Toastmasters for Professional, I welcome you all. Our for Professional is a global online club based out of California, USA. And in this club, we focus on skills related to career guidance, resume and interview preparation, interpersonal and effective communication, boosting confidence, critical thinking, and handling difficult situations. So, as a sergeant of arm of this meeting, before we start the meeting, let me mention our three ground rules which we need to follow. As a Toastmaster, we don't talk about sex, religion, and politics in derogatory manner. So please refrain from discussing this topic. Please put yourself on mute when you are not speaking, and please turn off your video if you are stepping out of the meeting. So with this, I welcome you all, and I will hand it over the meeting to Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Pramod. Over to you, Pramod.
Thank you, Jay. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, Toastmasters, and my dear guest. Yesterday, I was going through the messages in the group, and I found that somebody mentioned that it is a very catchy title for the theme. Somebody mentioned that I love the theme, the Plum Village. But how many of you have heard about this thing before, the Plum Village? Have you heard it before? No. Dr. Maya, she called me and asked more about the theme. I told her that let it be a surprise. I will not give you more information about the theme, but I would be able to give some more information about the audience, because I believe that while playing the TMoD, you should give some value addition to your audience. If you are giving, you should give some more material to the audience, that they should feel that the 2 hours was worth spending while in attending a meeting of Toastmasters. But what happened when the description was prepared by Raghu, he had spilled the beans and he had given the entire information about the Plum Village in the narrative. Now, some of you must have read about this description. Plum Village is a spiritual order started by a Vietnamese monk called Thich Nhat Hanh or Thich Nhat Hanh. That's how it is pronounced. He is considered to be the high priest of Buddhism Zen order. He's no more right now. He speaks about mindfulness. So, in short, the Plum Village is all about mindfulness. And it's an application. I see many people, they are joining for different courses to learn mindfulness. They are buying books by paying money, and they are learning mindfulness and they are trying to practice it, while the same thing is available for free. And it's a great application. You can download it from your Play Store and you can use it. And if you don't know what is mindfulness, there is a step-by-step approach to mindfulness. So today I'm going to talk a little bit more about the 3 elements which was established by Thich Nhat Hanh, which is slightly away from the conventional belief of mindfulness. When you think about mindfulness, it is living in the moment and not thinking about the past. But saints do have social responsibility. Saints do have a responsibility to the people in the world. They are instrumental in creating peace. They are instrumental in ending hostility between individuals. So mindfulness is not only a meditation technique, but it is a way of living. It binds people together. It ends enmity. It eliminates hostility. So let me talk about it a little bit more later. Before that, I can see some guests. For the benefit of guests, I will explain the program for today. Today, we have two sessions. The first session comprises of prepared speeches. There are two speakers. They would be speaking on various projects, on various subjects based on some projects. Later, these speeches will be evaluated by seasoned Toastmasters. So we have two seasoned distinguished Toastmasters who would be evaluating the speeches later. Then we have a session on impromptu speaking. Detail about impromptu speaking and table topic master, I will come up when the time comes. So this is all about the session. Now, let's have a brief introduction of the guest. Any guests, they are attending the meeting for the first time? Yeah, Rohin is there. Please tell us your name. How did you come to know about the club? That's all. In 15 to 20 seconds, your introduction, please.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. This is Rohin Sharma from Bharuch, Gujarat, and I'm a Toastmaster from last 5 years. And I came to know about this club from DTM Pramod.
Thank you, Rohin. Dharmendra.
Yeah, Pramodji, I think you knows me, sir.
Okay. So you can introduce yourself, please. Yeah.
Dharmendra Patidar here. I'm working at Federal Bank. Pramod sir, I have come to know from this particular platform from the Pramodji only. He had been Toastmaster since 14-15 as I know. So I came to know from this program from Pramod sir. I have been meeting with him. I was really impressed with the way he was, having the public speaking skills and all. So I thought of, improving that on my part. So I got a kind of
Yeah, really, that's so cool. Anyway, you have taken a little step. Continue this thing and make a big change in your life. We'll talk about it later. I am the VPM of the club. I'll brief you about the joining procedures and everything later. Okay.
Thank you.
Now, for every meeting, we need some people to help us in conducting the meeting. Let me share my screen. So I do have a team of people to support me in conducting today's meeting. So 1 minute. Let me share my screen. Is it visible?
Yes.
Yeah, we can see it from here.
Okay, but I'm trying to change it to slideshow. It's not working. Where is that button to start slide?
Maybe on the right hand side bottom corner.
Do you see the slideshow tab?
Yeah,
On top.
Raw design slideshow. No, not new slide. Up to the top.
Go up.
No, you have to
Home.
go.
Right.
Keep
Go
going
right.
to the right. Home, insert, draw, design, transitions, animation, slideshow. Slide to the right at the same vertical height, but move it to your right.
I can't see it because there is one more tab above that. So 1 minute. Yeah,
Right there. That's it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Now you can see that. I think this I explained. I'll come back to this later. But the person who opened the meeting with high voltage of energy, who played the role of Sergeant at Arms in today's meeting is Toastmaster Dr. Jay Sejpal. Jay, who joined Toastmasters in 2022, and by profession, he is a lead medical advisor for global medical affairs in Dr. Reddy's Laboratories, Hyderabad. So he is pursuing innovative planning path level 2, and currently he's serving as vice president membership for a club based in Hyderabad called Vision Toastmasters. So let us welcome Dr. J to this meeting.
Thank you.
For every meeting, we have a timer, because today when I woke up, I saw that it is just 10 minutes left to start the meeting. So I ran and set up my laptop and everything. See, that is the commitment, the Toastmasters. I would not have done that if it is my office. So I might think that, okay, I'll go 10 minutes late, but here I can't be late. because we follow a time frame here. So for keeping the time and reminding the speakers and the role players about the value of the time, we have a Toastmaster here. His name is Toastmaster Dilip. Dilip joined Toastmasters in April 2023. He is working as a production manager in oil and gas industry, and he's from India. So, welcome, Dilip. Welcome to this meeting.
Thank you, Pramod. Hi, everyone.
You must have noticed that while speaking, I stammered and stuttered somewhere. I had long pauses, but these things are not conscious. When I think about something or when I talk continuously, sometimes I use crutch words. And these crutch words, they deteriorated the quality of our speech. So in order to point out the mistakes or the crutch words we use in our speech, we have a role called an R counter. See, R counter is somebody who would be counting the R, ums, long pauses, short pauses, and the crutch words we use in our speech. Then later will come out with a report and present it to the club. So this will help us improve our speaking capabilities, and the clarity of the speech will improve if we are conscious about the R, ums, and the crutch words. To play the role of R counter, we have we have a young Toastmasters. His name is Shukrut Gajwada, Toastmaster Shukrut Gajwada, who joined Toastmasters International in 2023. Currently, he is pursuing his graduation from Osmania University in Hyderabad. So he has taken innovative planning path for his Toastmasters journey, and he is pursuing level 1, and he is from India. Let us welcome Toastmasters Shukrut Gajwada at the timer for today's meeting.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day.
Yes. Here comes the dreaded role. Even the perfect thing can be perfected. So the DTMs, the non-DTMs, future DTMs, so all are afraid of this very particular role because we sometimes commit some mistakes. To understand the good usages and not so good usages in our speech, so we have a role called the language evaluator, popularly known as the grammarian. So today, Toastmaster Maya Talkar is playing the role of the language evaluator, and she joined Toastmasters in 2023. She's working as an independent social compliance auditor on labor standards. She completed the speech craft course of Toastmasters International. I believe that is the entry to Toastmasters Club. With a round of applause, let me welcome Toastmaster Maya to this meeting to present the word of the day for today's meeting. Over to you, Maya.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day. And good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everybody. The word of the day today is radiant. It's an adjective. And you can use this word, example to give for this word is each block would come with a built-in table and chairs as well as radiant heating. So this is the word of the day. So please use the maximum usage of this word. Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day.
Okay. Once again, let me repeat the word of the day. The word of the day is radiant. Correct, Maya?
Yes, I put it in the chat, Toastmaster.
Okay. See, I'll show you. Once you look at, so this I covered. I think now you know what is Plum Village. Plum Village is a tradition of a Buddhist school named after the Plum Village Monastery in France, established by Thich Nhat Hanh. It's a free mobile application available. See, this is, in a way, you can call this is mindfulness. If you can remember this one particular slide. So the essence of the word mindfulness is captured in this thing. Mindfulness is nothing but paying attention, listening, watching, or considering what naturally exists on purpose, intentionally increasing awareness of experience. and living in the present moment, that is focusing on here and now, and becoming non-judgmental. These things are 4 simple things. Now you just remember, you are sitting in a sofa or you are sitting in a chair right now. I don't know, but you think, you start remembering this thing, that I am sitting here and my hands are on the table, or you try to get an awareness of your present position. And if you can feel it, and if you can be aware about it, that is mindfulness. It creates a radiant feeling within yourself when you think about mindfulness, or when you practice. So before giving more ideas about the theme, let's start with the prepared speeches. Like there is a change in the agenda. The first speaker is Toastmaster Mohan Teneti. The path is dynamic leadership level 4. Objective for the speech is to manage change. Evaluated for the speech is Toastmaster Susan Schulz DTM. Time allotted for the speech is 5 to 7 minutes. Title of the speech is Speak Fast or Speak Slow. And Mohan is a Toastmaster for the last 2 years. He is an IT professional. He completed level 3 in dynamic leadership, and he won several ribbons at the club level. With a round of applause, let me welcome Toastmaster Mohan to this meeting. Toastmaster Mohan, speak fast or speak slow. Speak slow, fast or speak slow, Toastmaster Mohan.
One second, I need to pin the timer. I have the bad habit of looking at myself here. Yeah, I can see the timer. Yeah, can I start? Oh, sorry.
Yes, Mohan, you can start. You can start, please.
How many of you have ever been asked either to speed up or slow down your speech? Can you raise your hand? Maybe the virtual hand. Some of you, fantastic. Even I was asked to slow down my pace several times. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I'm Toastmaster Mohan. I'm a software engineer by profession. As a part of my job requirement, I interact with people from various countries. Long back, I interacted with a client from the UK. He spoke very fast. He spoke at around 200 words per minute. I was somehow super impressed with his pace. I felt that was correct. I emulated him for a long time. On the contrary, a few months down the line, I interacted with a client from Japan. He was super slow. His pace was around 100 words per minute. I reached out to Mr. Yuri and asked him a question. Mr. Yuri, did you like my presentation? Would you want me to make some changes and get back to you next week? His answer was, he could not understand a bit. Everything was above the head. He requested me to slow down. That was quite an embarrassing moment for me. The big problem is, I don't know what is right. Do I need to speak fast or do I need to speak slow? What is right? I could not figure out myself. I reached out to my mentor, Mr. Aditya, and explained him the situation. Aditya understood the context and he told me, Mohan, there is nothing like speaking fast is correct or speaking slow is correct. You need to adjust your pace according to the audience. That is the only thing correct. Effective communication is possible only if you speak at a pace that audience can understand. I felt I found a solution. I found a radiant solution. That was an aha moment for me. His words remind with me. I went back home on that day. I was sitting on a couch in the living room. My daughter Akriti, she was playing till 10 p.m. in the night. I was really angry. I told her, hey Akriti, why are you still playing? Why don't you go and sleep? She did not respond as expected. My mentor's words came to my mind. I approached her, slowed down my pace. I asked her, Akriti, did you understand what I tell you? No, Papa. What? Then I again told her, Akriti, can you go to bed early so that you can wake up early tomorrow? Tomorrow is Saturday. You can play whole day. Sure, Papa. She followed my words. I felt my message was effective. Slowing down my pace helped me to make my message effective. I feel the same dilemma. Coming to the Toastmasters world, I feel the same dilemma whenever I have to speak at a Toastmasters club. Particularly when I speak at a club where I have a mix of native English speakers and non-native English speakers. Do I need to speak fast or do I need to speak slow? If I speak fast, the slow speakers, they may not catch up. If I speak slow, the fast speakers, they may lose interest. What is the right balance? What is that I need to do? There is no right or wrong solution, but over a period of experience, I understood that I need to slow down my speech. I adjusted my speech to 120 words per minute. I felt that is the right pace that will work out for me. Even after 6 minutes, all of you are still active and listening to my speech. That itself is a big testimonial for the adjustment of my pace. That is my story of adjusting the pace of my speech. What is yours? Do you want to speed up or slow down? Thank you, and over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mohan. That was a good speech, excellent speech. I'll pause for 1 minute for the evaluators to take the notes and also the audience to give feedback to the speaker. You may write in the chat and give us feedback directly to the speaker. So I think 30 seconds is enough. Timer, please note 30 seconds for writing the feedback.
Yeah, Toastmaster of the day, 30 seconds is up.
Yes, I think 30 seconds are over. Now we have our next speaker. The next speaker is persuasive. He has selected his path as persuasive influence. He is a level 1 candidate. He is The purpose of the speech is writing a speech with a purpose. Evaluator for the speech is Distinguished Toastmaster Milind Patwardhan. The time allotted for the speech is 5 to 7 minutes. The title of the speech is Interview Practice. And Toastmaster Guillermo James Sandoval is a Toastmaster for the last 2 months. He's a video editor by profession and he's from USA. Interview practices, Toastmaster Guillermo. Toastmaster Guillermo, interview practices. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Toastmaster Guillermo here. I am a freelance video editor. Part of my job is to convince clients that I am the right person for the job. Why should they hire me over someone else? Today, I am going to practice selling myself to all of you. In this age, most people have a screen with them at all times. 85% of the world's population has a smartphone. 3.7 million videos are uploaded to YouTube every single day. 1 billion are watched on TikTok every single day. And consumption keeps going up. The world communicates through video. Companies invest more and more into their media, and new YouTubers keep popping up. Clearly, people love it. People love video. Whether it is for a business or a personal project, I am the man that will help you get the video you want. A little about me. I am radiant when I watch videos. Movies, cartoons, YouTube, whatever it is. Time goes by quickly when I'm watching one of those. At 16, I made my first video. It was a vacation film. I added a small story and some music and played it for my family in the living room. Ever since, I am the family's cameraman. I also posted dozens of video game videos on YouTube, and slowly through the years, learned how to edit video. Being certified in Adobe Premiere Pro, I know of many, many ways of improving your videos, such as by adding sound effects, changing green screens, making a video flow better by cutting down pauses or mistakes, improving the colors so the video looks more vibrant and appealing, adding subtitles in case the audio gets hard to hear, making lower thirds in order to introduce people. You get the gist. I believe that in order to be a good video editor, it is important to have experience on the whole process of making a video. From coming up to an idea, to filming, to editing. I am familiar with all of it. I know how to work with the other departments. I have some communication skills because I am in a public speaking group called Toastmasters. I also know how to use other editing programs. For this one project, I made some assets in Adobe Illustrator, which I then animated in Adobe After Effects, and then I put that animation in a bigger video with Premiere Pro. Posting is another important part of the process. I ran a YouTube channel that uploads videos daily. It got over 10,000 views in its first week. I learned about search engine optimization, making interesting titles, and posting at the right times. My experience includes editing podcasts by improving audio quality, removing pauses, equalizing, adding intros, outros, and music. The client was very happy with the work, and the podcast ended up getting thousands of views. I also worked with a finance YouTuber by making shorts out of longer content. I added some animated emojis, B-roll, cuts, and music. Those shorts were also watched by an audience of thousands. So what do I offer? I offer a diverse set of skills with which to improve your videos. I offer revisions. If you're not happy with the video, I will change it so it ends up just the way you want it to be. I offer search engine optimization knowledge that helped me get thousands of views. Enthusiasm and hard work. People, in the age of video, take advantage of this opportunity and make your content stand out. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Guillermo. Now we have completed both the speeches for today's meeting. Timer Toastmaster Dilip, could you just let us know the exact timing of the speeches so that it will help the evaluators?
Sure, Toastmaster of the day. For speaker one, Mohan, it is 6 minutes, just over 6 minutes. And the speaker two, James, it is 4 minutes 57 seconds.
Okay, thank you. Normally, in a Toastmasters meeting, if we select a theme for a meeting, the speaker or the TMoD doesn't get the time to explain the theme in a much better way. But today, since I have some time, I'll just introduce you to the person who established the Plum village. His name is, I already told you, it is Thich Nhat Hanh. If you want to know something more about this Tibetan saint, to understand about the school of meditation, there is a beautiful documentary in YouTube. The title of the documentary is Cloud Never Dies. It's a small documentary. It's about 30 minutes. If you really want to understand his work and how he started and what was the compulsion to start this particular order. And surprisingly, though he was from Vietnam, he started all his activities in France. So what was the situation which prompted him to leave Vietnam and establish everything in France? So all this background, the political reasons, and at one point of time, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., he openly nominated Thich Nhat Hanh for the Nobel Prize for Peace. I don't exactly remember the year. So that much was his popularity at that time, his contribution towards creating peace in the world. So it will be worth watching this documentary. It's 30 minutes. There are 2-3 documentaries, but this one is my personal favorite. And the first contribution which he had done to the world of meditation is called meditation in action. So this is something, a new term for me when I was reading about him and I was watching the documentary. It is called meditation in action. So what he said is, you are sitting in a prayer hall. Imagine that you are sitting in a prayer hall and you are doing meditation. You are totally in a stage of trance, but there is bombing happening outside your prayer hall. So in the picture, you can see that some monasteries are getting bombed, but monasteries are safe. Bombs are being exploded here and there. So imagine a situation. You are in a hall and bombs are getting exploded outside the hall. Is it possible for you to meditate? It's a fact that you are not getting affected until your monastery or your prayer hall is attacked. But still, you are not able to concentrate yourself and meditate. So the only option available for you is to stop your meditation and run away from the place, or stop your meditation and go to this place and help the people who are suffering because of this thing. He said this is called meditation in action. So it is something related to helping humanity. They are in suffering. So we help them heal their wounds mentally and physically, which is called meditation in action. So when we talk about meditation, we do not anticipate something related to a social commitment and helping others and taking some action. but he beautifully combined meditation with action. He said, this is also meditation. When you are going out and helping your fellow human beings, that is also meditation. It becomes meditation. So there are some 2-3 rare concepts introduced by Thich Nhat Hanh. So this is one such rare concept. I'll talk about it more. 2 more concepts are there. Before the closing of this meeting, I'll talk about them as well. But let me go to the next session. So next session is the much awaited table topics session. To play the role of table topics master, we have a celebrated Toastmaster Doreen Galli. I don't know, I'm pronouncing it right. She joined Toastmasters in 2022, and she's working as a Chief Technology Officer in Microsoft Cloud for Industries. And her path is persuasive influence level 2, and she's from USA. So she has a lot of surprise for us because she did the preparation meticulously. She asked for the theme, she asked for the word of the day. So everything, I hope that she's well prepared and she's going to give you a good treat through the table topic session. So over to you, Toastmaster Doreen.
Thank you. Can you enable sharing for me? I apologize. I didn't realize it wasn't enabled.
Go ahead, Doreen, you have sharing.
Perfect. Thank you. And everyone can see just the PowerPoint, correct? I'm not used to Zoom, so that's why I was asking for confirmation. And I think I shared it wrong, correct? You only see the screen with the PowerPoint, right? Perfect.
Yep.
Excellent. So today I am the table topics master, which is the active listening project for level 2 on the persuasive influence pathway. As we mentioned, the word of the day is radiant, emitting rays of light. And with that, I would like to take volunteers who would like to raise their hand. And I'm trying to think if I can actually figure out who raised their hand on this solution. And we'd like to pick a number for a table topic question. Maya, what question number would you like?
4.
4?
Number 4.
4, perfect. Okay, wait, I'll do this show, slideshow. Sorry about that, we'll do it. Hold on. Whoops. It should work now, right? No, it didn't. Boy, I am not having, there we go, question 4. What book or movie greatly influenced your life?
I think I should say this is a radiant question for me. Earlier, I had no habit of reading the books, right? But recently, or I think last 2 years, I got into the habit of reading books. Earlier, I used to read the books, but I used to never complete the book. I used to never finish it till the end of the page. But one book I say I would like to mention is that the name of the book is Your Tiny Habits by James Clear. So that the tiny habits, when I change my habits bit by bit every day, so it makes me improve myself in many ways. So that I would say greatly influenced my life over the last 2 years. If I see a better version of myself every day, I should say, because that impacted me a lot. Thank you.
What a radiant answer. It's true. Every day is made up of a lot of great habits. And it sounds like the book on tiny little habits gave you lots of suggestions on how to constantly have a brighter, radiant smile every day. And sounds like that was a helpful one. If you have the link, that would be a great thing to put in the chat so that other people could also read it. Thank you, Maya. That was a great suggestion. And I don't know how to tell the order of the hand. So I'll go, Melind, what number would you like?
Give me number 10.
What is one thing on your bucket list and what is your plan to achieve it?
All right. So thank you, Toastmaster Doreen, for a very nice topic. What is on your bucket list and what are my plans to achieve it? You know, this is like asking a question, which sweets do you like in particular? You know, my answer would be so many sweets. There are at least 5 or 6 or maybe half a dozen sweets which I can mention. So in the same way, on my bucket list are so many things. So which one do you want me to really talk, Doreen? Okay, so let me take a shot at one of them. One of the things on my bucket list is to go and attend a meditation workshop. You know, Pramod has been talking to us right now about this wonderful practice, and I'm so very interested in knowing more about it. And I'm surely going to see that YouTube video which Pramod mentioned. And there are so many options available here back in India where I am right now to go for such meditation workshops. Like just now Maya said that, you know, we take up a particular project and then we don't complete it. You know, we just leave it. But this time I don't want to do it. I'm going to be here for a good 2 months and I have the time at hand. And I'm surely going to look for some option where I can go and meditate. I don't know how many of you are aware, there is something called as Vipassana, wherein it's a workshop where you go and then you are there for about 10 days. You don't talk to anybody. There are some routines of the day that you follow and nothing. You cannot read, you cannot write, you cannot talk. You just have to be with your own self. So this is one of the things on my bucket list. This sounds a little too rigorous for me, so I am a little shaky about going in for it. But there are several smaller options available for about 3 days, 4 days, which also I know are quite good. So this is one thing, Doreen, which is there on my bucket list among the many other things on my bucket list. My bucket is almost overflowing with things. Back to you, Doreen.
Lynn, thank you. That was a great answer. And going to a mindfulness meditation retreat definitely sounds like a great item to put on a bucket list. Admittedly, I had run into some people at the airport when I was flying out of Vegas once, and I had a very different energy. They had come from a mindfulness retreat in the mountains. And so everyone else had the exhaustion energy from partying too much. And this other group on the airplane just had this peaceful serenity. They were completely radiant, actually. So that sounds like a great item on your bucket list. And thank you for sharing. So we have Guillermo with your hand up. I can't tell if there's numbers on them, so I'm going in the order that I can see them. Guillermo, what number would you like?
What's the highest number there is?
14.
14, please.
Share a quote or mantra that resonates with you and explain why it holds meaning in your life.
Wait, awesome question. One of my favorite quotes of all time is from a movie, Spider-Man. The quote is, with great power comes great responsibility. Sometimes when other people depend on you, you really do have the power to help them or to not help them. Not helping them really hurts that person sometimes. And so it's very important to be aware of that. I've been on the receiving end, where I am dependent on someone and that someone maybe forgets or just doesn't care, which so be it. But if someone depends on you, I'd say help them, because it feels pretty bad when they leave you alone. That's my favorite quote. Yeah, thank you.
Excellent. With great power comes great privilege, responsibility. Was it great power, great responsibility? It's true. It's true. And the more years in life you get, the more responsibilities you get, and you keep getting more and more responsibilities. I think that's why they say celebrate your childhood when you have it. I'm still trying to steal some of those days back anytime I can. I think they actually say you can go reverse in life, right? So like you go back to childhood again when you get older in life, maybe. I don't know. I don't think I'd want to go too far there. But thank you for sharing that. And it's amazing that you can get inspiration from anywhere, and it's important to remember that. I think I saw Jay with his hand up. Jay, what
Yes.
question number would you like?
Yeah, 13.
If you could learn one language overnight, what would it be and why?
Okay. What language I can learn overnight and what it would be. Okay. So if I can learn a language overnight, this will be very good skill to learn very quickly. Recently, I was learning to touch type without looking at the keypad, and I found that it is pretty hard. Though I tried to learn a lot in last 6 months, and my typing speed is increased now around 35 to 40 words per minute. So that was a very good learning experience, and similar kind of learning experience. I would also like to learn a new language. I I am now in medical affairs working with the many countries. Like I work with Brazil, Colombia. They speak Portuguese and Spanish. So often I have to interact with those people who don't know English very fluently, and that time that challenge comes up. And also sometimes they'll send the literature for approval to me, which is written in the Portuguese. I have to translate into Google, and now then I have to take their concurrence on the accuracy of translation. So that leads to many challenges. So looking at the my work experience, if I can learn Portuguese, that would be very good, and it would be dream come true if I can learn in a single day. And I believe that learning many language increase your cognitive power, and definitely you should attempt this. And maybe I will not be able to learn overnight, but definitely I would like to attempt learn Portuguese very soon. Thank you. Thanks for a good question.
Excellent. And Portuguese has 28 verb forms. So it's a very difficult language. So that actually was a great choice. Yo hablo español porque yo soy de Florida, pero I speak Spanish because I lived in Florida when I went to high school. And so at one point I was fluent. And I did find that when I went to Italy, I could speak Spanish and they could understand me. I had a team in Brazil which speaks Portuguese. And truth be told, I could understand their Portuguese and they could understand my Spanish better than when I went to Cork, Ireland, and they spoke English to each other. I couldn't understand their English. So Portuguese is actually a very great choice because with that, it has the most complex verb forms and it'll be very handy for other languages and neighboring languages as well. So great question. Dear Dharmendra, how do you pronounce your name?
Dharmendra.
Dharmendra, what number would you like?
Number 1.
Excellent. If you could relive a day over and over again, what day would you pick? Any skills you'd want to pick up in the process? You knew on a mindful day, there'd have to be deep questions.
I could get that. it's quite difficult literally, because there had been so many days, I have been want to leave lot many days, particularly, just a kind of uh, particularly the days I spent with my father, because few days left, few months before, I just missed, he just passed away. So there had been many things, literally miss, and the times I spent with my father in particular, I want to leave that time, because that time, I wouldn't able to never get in future, so there's things in particular I miss, and I want to relive, because these things, because since childhood I have been, away from my father due to the education and all. So I expected, post getting the job, and probably thereafter I will get some time, to spend few good moments with my father in particular. But just a few months before, he had cardiac arrest in particular. So I whatever, I prepared for myself kind of basket, to spend few months, years with him, just I completely lost out. So I wouldn't able to get that. So if in future I get any opportunity, or kind of, that I think of, to relive, so that would be the particular moment I would expect.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing. I understand completely. I had lost both of my parents and my older brother and my older sister. So I understand completely. And that's why I came up with my philosophy of owning every day completely. Because once you experience significant loss, you really want to hold on to every day and every moment with every person you meet. Completely relate to that. Sending virtual hugs. Yes, absolutely. Maria, are you next?
Yes.
What number would you like?
Number 7, please.
What is the most memorable trip you've ever taken, and what made it so special?
This is a hard question because I don't take too many trips, but the most memorable trip that I had was maybe when I went to China. I'm Vietnamese, so when I get to go to China, I kind of explore other how the culture is, and how the city was like, and kind of like their lifestyle, as in like the different culture, different restaurant, or like how they interact with each other. So I thought that was very fascinating, because I guess outside from US, there's other countries that are very, very, sometimes it feels like when we live in the US, we only, and I don't travel that much. So I feel kind of contained, and this is kind of our society. But then when you go travel, you're like, wow, there's bigger society out there, and, there's other stuff, and there's, time difference. So it was kind of a time adjustment and a culture adjustment. So that's the most memorable trip.
Thank you for sharing, Maria. You are correct. I have found that the further from home you travel, the greater the impact, because it's just so amazing to understand people in general. And when you see people in their homes, and their homes are different in their culture and the context, it just makes so much difference. I remember at Dell when I had a team in Hyderabad and Port Alegre and in Limerick, for example, and I physically got to go over and see them in their office space. It was so much nicer. You have a better context to all. So thank you for sharing. Toastmaster, how many, do we have time for 1 or 2 more questions, or how are we doing?
You can take 5 or 6 more speakers. We have time.
Okay, we have time. Excellent. Excellent. So, Ritu, what question would you like?
Take 6.
What is the best piece of advice you've ever received, and how has it impacted your life?
That's a great question. Thank you, Doreen. The best piece of advice I've ever received, and that would be a piece of advice I received from my boss, my manager, once. So I had been in a meeting, and something happened which kind of triggered me, and then I got a little bit agitated, and I had raised my voice. So then, I mean, it's not that I shouted at anybody, just my tone of my voice got, a pitch got higher. And that day, my boss is very polite to me. He never ever brought up like any fault in any of my work. I mean, nothing. But that day, he did tell me that, okay, Ritu, you should practice on keeping your tone down when you get maybe excited or agitated. That's something I really took to my heart, and I try. I still try. I'll still try. I don't think I am always succeeding in doing that, but I try to keep my tone down, at least in like professional setting. I still shout at my kid. I'm not giving up on that, but and my husband too. But I try to keep my tone low in my professional setting. So that's something I would say, and it impacted my life, I would say, because that that was the first feedback I got from somebody in my like professional life, and like I I did never got any feedback earlier, but I tried to take action on it, and that was from my radiant manager who gave me that, which was kind of cool. I respect him, and I try to follow it. Yeah, thank you.
Excellent. That's great advice too, right? I mean, life's too short. So every environment is more peaceful if we just all don't shout. So yeah, no, great advice. It's I always try to remember how short life is, and it always gives you perspective. As soon as you remember that, it makes it really easy not to get upset about anything. I think, Robin, are you next? What number would you like? Oh, Rohan, sorry. I'm blind. Rohan. So you raised your hand.
Rohin, are you
Yes.
there, Rohin?
Is that you?
I'm here
You are.
only.
Yes. What number would you like?
Number 5, please.
Describe a moment when you witnessed or experienced kindness and how it inspired you to be a better person.
Am I audible and visible? Hello.
Okay, quick. Yeah, can I quick?
Am I audible?
Okay, I can't. Yeah, go ahead. I'm not hearing anything. Is anyone else? I heard, am I audible? And then nothing.
Yeah, am I audible now?
Yes, I heard you. Would you like to
Yeah.
answer? Okay,
Yeah,
thank
yeah,
you.
sure. So I believe every day is a new day for you. It doesn't mean that you can be kind for one day only, or it's a moment. When you be true to yourself, when you have a purpose in life that you want to be kind to anyone, and every day becomes a great day for you. I would give one example to you. I work in security. I'm a security manager, and sometimes what happens, people do some offense, and it's my duty to punish them sometimes. But one day, it was a case that one person had shouted on his colleague, and he threatened to, uh, you can say that, hit him also. And the case came to me, and I listened to that person. First of all, he was very, vibrant. So I listened to him, calmed him down, and got to know that he was facing some issues at his home. So just because of that frustration and this anger just came out, and he was burst out with love, anger. So that was the thing. So at that time, that procedures and SOPs kept aside, I took stand and took up it with my manager that yes, this person, whatever he had done, I know it was wrong, but the reason behind that thing was not exactly it was not a thing to be mentioned. So I kept this case with my manager and make sure that he would not get punishment for that thing. So at that day, I found that that act of kindness was really peaceful for me. That's it from my side.
Excellent. It's always great when you can diffuse a situation. I know one of the things at work that I always encourage everyone on my team to do is assume they're having a bad day. Assume it's something other than you, because chances are it is. So that's fantastic. You were able to yourself exhibit kindness and help diffuse the situation. Ashwath, what number would you like?
Yeah, hi. 12.
12. If you had one song that could be the only song you could listen to for the rest of your life, what song would it be and why?
Yeah. Hey everyone. Song I would like to listen all the time is I would like to listen Naruto song, because some of them will say it's an anime, and you're just listening to a song which is kind of cartoonish, and you are listening to that, like, but that song gave me the motivation all the time to cheer up and do what I want to do in my life. Because at one point of time I was totally depressed, and I was like not able to move forward. But that song gave me the motivation to cheer up in my life, and not myself, even my friends and family members. I used to cheer up them with me, and I used to make them motivated to do what they want in their life. So I would tell that the one song which changed my life, or like which motivated all the time, and I would like to listen all the time, is that song, Naruto song.
I love the link to it. Anyway, in case I'm Happy by Pharrell sometimes is used to cheer people up too, but yeah, no, that's I love the link to it. It's always great when you can find something that can help you get through the day.
Yeah, sure.
Mohan, you have your hand up. What number would you like?
There's still some numbers left out. Okay, yeah. I'll go with 3.
If you could travel to any fictional world, which one would you choose and why?
If I could if I could travel to a fictional world, what a good topic. And the world I live in, it is actually very fascinating for me. This world itself has so much of variety, so much of interest, so many things which are really interest me. However, if I still have to reimagine a world, I would reimagine to be a part of Indraloka. That is a world, as per Hindu mythology, you can see that called as Indraloka. That is a perfect world where only people who did all good deeds, after they die, they go to that world, where you will get umpteen liquor, all beautiful girls dancing around. There is no punishment. You want to eat as much as you want. There's a very big elephants which can give you as much money as you want. And it is like a heaven. It's actually called, it's heaven, I can say that. I want to go to heaven wherein I want to enjoy much better world without any pain, without any problems, without any suffering about layoffs and any diabetes or BP. Just drink as much as you want. You don't get a disease. Work whatever you do, you'll not lose your job. I would like to be a part of heaven. Thank you, and over to you.
Wow, that's a great one. You had to put a world without layoffs in there, right? Personally, having lived in the tech sector, I would love that world. If you know anyone looking for a CTO, please send them my way, because I don't have a seat. So unfortunately, yeah, I would absolutely be very attracted to the world, especially if they could give you an endless supply of great technical problems. You would think that would be easy to find in life, right? I don't know. They say we're in short supply. Not sure. AJ, let me go back to what number would you like?
Number 9 is available. You'll have to take that.
Perfect. If you had an unlimited budget for a trip, where would you go and what would you do?
Look at that. I am so lucky that I have unlimited budget for a trip. What is it that I'll end up going and doing? Well, the first thing that I'll do is go and buy an aircraft, because that will solve all the hassles of trying to find out where to go, which flight to take, what's the convenient layoff there, and what is the fare. I don't have to worry about that now. I have my own personal plane. I can go wherever I want. And then I start charting out an itinerary of all the places in the world that I like to see. It's my own aircraft after all. I can decide where I want to go. I can decide how long I want to stay there. And because my aircraft will have a suite, a bedroom, as well as a kitchen, I don't even need a hotel. After going and landing in a city, I go around, enjoy things, and then come back and take a rest in my luxurious aircraft. What is the message that we get out of something like this? The message that I derive out of this Toastmaster, Table Topics Master, is that all of us have a choice in terms of figuring it out. What is that aircraft that we can own? It could be a career, it could be a life, it could be anything that we desire. The choice is ours. We don't have to be limited by what option the world gives us. We can be radiant about the fact that we are able to do what we want within the ambit of what is available to us. So, my dear friends, why limit ourselves to things like choosing airlines, choosing flights, choosing fares? In the same way, why limit yourself to choosing what you have in front of you? Make up what is it that you want and figure out a way you can get there. And once you do that, believe me, your life is paradise. Table Topics Master.
Great answer. Wonderful way to step back from the question and say, how can I make it even better? I'll just get my own plane. And since we have an unlimited budget, we can make sure it runs on solar. Right? Exactly. And I believe, are we full for the timing, Toastmaster? Back to you.
Yes, we can wind up.
Excellent. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Doreen. We could accommodate more than 10 speakers for the table topic session. I'm sure that most of the participants who attended this meeting have got something worthwhile to speak about it. It was a great session. Now, moving on to the next session. Next is the most important session. We have two senior members. They are going to evaluate the speeches which we had listened earlier. Let me call upon the first 1 minute. The first evaluator for this first speech is distinguished Toastmaster Susan Schulz. She is a retired corporate accounting manager, and she has been a part of the Toastmasters for the last 27 years. I'm sure that it's an exciting example for many people who are attending our meeting for the very first time. So Susan is a Toastmaster for the last 27 years, a two-time DTM, and she is an evaluation champion for District 84 in 2014. She is currently the club ambassador, and she is going to evaluate the speech delivered by Toastmaster Mohan Teneti. Title of the speech is Speak Fast or Speak Slow. Susan has got 2 to 3 minutes plus a 30 seconds grace period for her evaluation. Timer, please note. Over to you, Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster Susan Schulz.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, and especially Mohan. Where are you? I need to see you. Yes, there you are.
Yeah.
Congratulations. What a captivating story you told. First, I'm going to tell you all the things that, or not all, many of the things that you did well, because there were so very many of them. First, you captivated your audience by a question. How many of you have ever been told to speed up or slow down? Immediately, we connected with you. Some of us have had that said to us, and both sides of the question, for me, both speak quicker, speak slower. You demonstrated great confidence. You were standing, you staged yourself within the Zoom box and had purposeful movement. We call that staging, from one side to the center and to the side, not rapid movements, but just casually for a thought or a phrase that you may have said. You had gestures that were very purposeful. One that came to mind immediately was, up over the head, right above their head when the message wasn't received. And you had a tremendous smile on your face and very
Thank you.
expressive,
You made my day.
very expressive facial expressions. That you gave us 3 stories to prove your point within the body. First, about someone from the UK, second, someone from Japan, and then the story with your daughter. And that was very humor-filled because you used the voices. First, you were talking down to her and she was talking up to you, and your vocal variety was, "Yes, Daddy." And it was very apparent that you were talking 2 different characters, and you shared that with us. It gave us a great picture for us. You gave us the message of what is right, pondering what is right, what is the right balance to use. 130 words a minute. Now, if you use Yodlee, you can go in there and it'll time you and see how many words per minute you are speaking. It's very helpful because you may find you're speaking too quickly for most of your audience or just at the right pace, because pauses matter. And I want to congratulate you because you used pauses masterfully. When your audience needs to grab an idea or a thought that you've mentioned, we need time to grasp it, and you allowed that. Then you're closed with a testimonial. What is your plan? Your decision about fast or slow was a great way to close it strongly. Now, I might be the only person in the room that was pondering the question for your project, because it was about managing a plan. And I realized that you masterfully wove that through because you recognized a need for a change. You've had an action plan, including your mentors, and then you put it into plan and gave the results from it. So it was masterful. I was wondering all throughout, when's he going to talk about the plan? But you did that in such a way, none of your audience knew that that's what you were looking for, save for me. But I want to congratulate you because you did a masterful job. And if I come up with any other opportunities for improvement, I'll include that in your written evaluation. Great job.
Yeah, thank you.
That was excellent, Susan. Now let's move on to the next evaluation. The speech delivered by Toastmaster Guillermo James, titled Interview Practice, will be evaluated by a seasoned Toastmaster, in fact, a distinguished Toastmaster, Milind Patwardhan. Milind is a leadership and communication trainer. He has been part of the Toastmasters for the last 11 years and is currently serving as the Club Growth Director of District 125, which is a district in India. The time is same for him as well. It is 2 to 3 minutes, and he'll get a 30 seconds grace period to wrap up the speech. Over to you, distinguished Toastmaster Milind Patwardhan.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Pramod. And thank you very much, James, for giving me an opportunity to evaluate your speech. Now, I'm going to evaluate your speech, James, on 2 parameters. One is the specific purpose of the project which you have undertaken. And second is overall as a speech, how you delivered it. So let's first come to how you overall delivered it. Any speech is, when you try to measure it, it's done on 2 or 3 parameters. One is how was the content, and second was how was the delivery. So let me come to the delivery part of it first. James, you did a wonderful job today, and I think this is your level 2 speech, and you are very young at Toastmasters. You did a wonderful job of the way you stood up and spoke. Even I right now am standing up and speaking. The moment you stand up and speak, automatically your body starts oozing confidence. This is exactly what happened. You were very, very radiant, James. The way you had configured yourself, your frame on the screen was perfect. No recommendations on that. You were very clearly visible. Your the distance from the screen, the way you were positioning yourself was wonderful. So great job done on that second. And because of all these things, you were appearing very radiant and very confident, and were naturally therefore drawing the attention of the audience that much more better. The second thing which I liked about your speech, James, was your wonderful command over English language. I'm sure you also do not come from an English-speaking country, yeah, or that's not your mother tongue. But the way you were using English today, the words that you used, as well as the diction, was fantastic, James. So, superbly well done as far as your delivery is concerned, the way you stood and everything was different. Now let me come to the objective of your speech. James, the objective of your speech was to write a speech with a purpose, correct? So let's keep that objective at one side. And second, let us also look at the title of your speech, which you had given me. The title of your speech was Interview Practice. Now, first of all, I felt that there was a bit of a disconnect between the title of your speech and what you actually delivered. If I were in your place and if I were to give the same speech, I would title it something like, let's say, what do I offer? Or what does James offer as a video editor? The moment you have this title, then even the purpose of the speech starts getting defined, that today we are going to listen to James, who's going to tell us what does he have to offer as a video editor. So there has to be a match between the title and the purpose of the speech. Secondly, when you're giving a speech like this, where you have to write the purpose, where you have to write a speech with a purpose, you should write it down. I am not sure whether you try to write down the speech. I typically do that. I write down the speech, but 7 minutes, so maybe about 800 words, and then I edit it and so on and so forth. I felt from your speech that your speech was a very free-flowing speech because you spoke on a subject which is your core competency. And therefore, probably you didn't much bother to write it. So when you have to write a speech with a purpose, please be clear about the purpose and then write it down. And then obviously the techniques of writing a speech, you have what is called as you should have a opening, should have a body, and you should have a conclusion, will all flow from that. So this little suggestion, James, and I think you would do a wonderful job. There's another thing which I observed, James, that as I mentioned initially, you were good on the stage, but I felt that you were swaying a little backward and forward. Okay, this is what I felt. Now you should have a bit of a sway, like I am doing. You should have a left-hand sway, a right-hand sway. All that you should do, but it should not be only a one-way kind of a sway. So in your case, it was only a little this, and that too, I think, was happening not by purpose, but by default. So the way in which I try to avoid this, James, is that I keep my legs a little apart, like what I'm doing now. The moment I keep my legs a little apart, this movement is limitedly restricted, and this movement is good, but not too much also. So these things one is on the purpose of the speech, and second is, of course, on the sway. Work on this. You're only at level 2. You have a long way to go. And I'm really looking forward, James, to listen to more and more speeches. And please give me an opportunity to evaluate you again. Thank you very much. Back to you, Pramod.
Thank you.
Thank you, Milind, for that detailed evaluation. So audience, we had 2 great speeches, 2 fantastic evaluations, 12 speakers. They spoke about different